Hey everybody, welcome back. Well, today I am talking about my February favorites and some fails, and I'm also doing a foundation roundup for you guys. I had planned on doing a separate video for a review, and I could on all of these, but I've been trying out so many, and you know, if you don't love something, last thing you want to do is like, oh, let me keep putting this on a whole bunch of different ways to do a review. And I had mentioned this on Instagram, and again, had many comments asking, you know, my thoughts on certain foundations I've been posting. You know, I've been trying out new foundations. Everybody wanted to know the thoughts. Anyway, it just got to be the point where I didn't want to keep putting this foundation on. So what started it all was this new one from Estee Lauder. So we're just gonna jump right in. I have so many foundations to talk about, but I also have some other things. I have, you know, TV, books, the norm. So let's jump right in. The Estee Lauder, this is the Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 45. So these are gonna be like kind of little quick reviews, okay? I have it in 2-in-1 Desert Beige, which is my normal color for Estee Lauder, and that matches me pretty good when I'm not self-tanning. I am self-tanning now, and I feel like my face is a little lighter than my body because of what I have on. I'll show you. It is pretty light. I really need to go up in that. It does dry down and darken slightly, and it looks okay with bronzer, but I'll get to that one. So this one, right off, I know so many people love this. It's the new one. This is finicky, guys. I had spoken about this on Instagram stories. It looked shiny, depending on what powders, definitely looks shiny with the Hourglass powder because that powder kind of diffuses anyway. I have that powder on with the foundation I'm wearing today because I think it really works great with that one. However, it didn't with this one. The best powder to set this I found was the Laura Mercier translucent powder. It does, you know, have, it's basically reminds me of like the IT Cosmetics CC cream. If you don't like that one, you may like this one. This is thin. I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can tell. I'll put it here. And you can see that is like running down my hand. So it's not thick like the IT Cosmetics. If you think that one's too thick or has too much coverage, but yet you want something with high SPF, and that's why I say this. Not only is the packaging similar, to me, the concept is very similar. Without them calling it a CC cream, with the high SPF and just the packaging and the lighter coverage, to me, that's what this is like. So if you think that one's too much, try this one, you'll probably love it. However, I don't think it's enough coverage for me. And I just feel like it doesn't last. It does not, it didn't look bad on my skin, but I don't think it was doing me any favors either. It's one of those, if I mixed it with something else, it would probably be amazing. It didn't necessarily bring attention to any texture issues on my chin, which is always a big deal for me. However, I've found definitely 2, kind of 3 that are even better at helping that issue. So to me, this was just okay. I wouldn't call it a fail, but I don't know. If you guys want to try it, maybe it'll be, you know, the best thing you ever tried, but I didn't think it was that great. And I had tried so many different, like with this primer and not with a primer, I was just getting sick of trying to mess with it to make it look good, if that makes sense. So I will definitely still keep trying to wear this, and maybe it's going to be one of those I'll eventually find a way to love it, because I didn't like the IT CC cream at first, and then I found a way to love it, and my skin probably just changed, honestly. So anyway, that's that one. As far as like we were talking about primers, I want to jump to those real quick because there's 3 that I've been loving. I actually just bought this one, but today is the first day I've tried it, so I couldn't tell you anything about it. This is the Farsali, this is the blurring primer. If you guys have tried this, let me know. But 3 I really like. This is an old favorite, and I went back to this recently trying some different foundations. And this is the Makeup Forever. This is the smoothing primer. I've always loved this one. It's great. I don't always use a primer, but sometimes it does help. This one's also really good. The Dr. Brandt, the Pores No More. This one feels probably a little bit more slip silicone than the Makeup Forever. And then something else that I use as a primer that I bought years ago, I actually just threw my old tube away when I bought a new one. I had left it in my drawer to remind me, you know what, you might want to buy that again someday. I had quit using it, but it was always on my mind, and recently just wanted to try it again. I have totally been on a foundation kick, as again, you guys know if you follow me on Instagram, I go through stages like that with makeup where like I just want to try everything, and then I get to where I love what I'm using and I don't want to try anything new. This is the Clarins Beauty Flash Balm. This is fantastic as a primer. Definitely if your skin just needs a little pick-me-up, it's not looking too great, or you know, ate too much bad food the night before or drank too much or whatever, you can use this as a mask as well. I've never done that. I usually just use it as a primer, but it definitely does something to your skin. It like brightens it a little bit, just, I don't know, makes it look a little bit better. Probably makes it a little more hydrated, less dehydrated looking, because that's my skin. I have combination skin, but I definitely have a lot of dehydration issues like around my chin area that foundations can accentuate that. So anyway, so happy I got this again. As far as what I've been applying foundation with lately, I have went back to my Artiste brush. This is the Oval number 7. I don't know if they have this exact one anymore in this finish, but they have this size still. So I'll list below whatever is comparable to this size. I just love this. This gives great coverage. I don't know, this is just amazing. I often will switch back, you know, and I still use a flat top brush, love that, and will go back and forth once in a while with like beauty sponges, but this is amazing. This gives really great coverage. I used this today. Speaking of what I don't like, which is a fail, this NYX sponge. I love the size, and I was really interested because I love the flat end of it here, but this is so hard. Even when it gets wet, it's kind of hard. So I don't love this. I use a dry sponge a lot after my foundation just to go over it and kind of press it in and soak up any extra. But the Beauty Blender and then this one from Real Techniques, this is soft. This is dry as can be, but it's still soft, so it's nice. I can touch up with it a little bit if I need to, but this one was terrible. So another one from the first picture I think I posted was the Dior Air Flash. I had tried years ago the Sephora dupe of this basically, and I remember I loved it. I just didn't wear it that often, but it was great. It's a nice coverage, but yet very thin, lightweight, being the airbrush. My way to apply it, I like, is I just spray it on a flat top brush and apply it that way. This I got in the color 2N. I like it because it does dry down a little bit and it mashed. It was a little light, but I don't know that I liked this any better than the Sephora. I need to wear it a little bit more and see, but it is very nice. It's expensive, but it's nice. But again, I'm kind of in that point right now. If something's expensive, but it works, I don't care, you know, and maybe it's just one of those things that happens with age, you know, being over 40, you know, skincare, makeup, whatever. You just want something that doesn't age you and doesn't make your skin look worse, which I have some problem areas anyway. This lighting does me a lot of favors, believe me. If you see me in person, you can totally tell the acne scarring I have, but I do think this foundation today isn't too bad that I'm wearing. Another one that I tried that I do like, but I need to mess with it more. It's not quite as much coverage as I would like, but this is a really good one from the drugstore. And I know a lot of you like this one. It's the Flower Beauty Light Illusion. All day wear, has a little bit of sunscreen, and the colors are a little bit limiting. I know some of you said you had problems as well. Gosh, it's way down here at the bottom. Ivory L2. I could have probably used the next higher up, but I do like this one. I'd probably need to mix it with something though to be a little more coverage how I want, but this is a nice one. And if you aren't looking for full coverage, but you want something that lasts a really long time, this is a beautiful foundation. So anyway, I do like this one though. Anyway, I got a sample and I really like this too. I need to try this out a little more. I got a sample from Chanel. This is the Ultra Latent, and she just put number 32 on here for the shade, but I think it's B 32s maybe. I don't know. We talked about it and she was just looking at me. I didn't want to actually like sample it that day, and so she just gave this to me. But this is very nice as far as it did not accentuate anything. It lasted all day, which was fantastic. So if you have like oily combination skin, try this one. You know, get a sample if you want, because this one was really nice and I liked it. Again, I need to try it a little more because I have so many, but I definitely liked this. All right, we're getting down to just a few more here. So sorry it's foundation heavy, but I know so many of you love foundations too. So a viewer recommended this to me on Instagram, I think. I had never heard of this before. It's Gentry Kelly, and that's her name. She's a makeup artist in Texas, I believe Houston, but don't quote me on that. So this is Photo Filter Foundation SPF 15. I think she had DM'd me and said this was like her favorite and all this. I read on the website. I was a little turned off because there aren't that many color selections for one, and they want you to send a photo in and they'll color match you. I don't know, to me I just find that annoying. I can usually color match myself pretty good, although I know it's hard with a brand you're not used to. So I checked out her Instagram and some of the clients and kind of tried to color match myself based on those pictures. What I ended up getting, I probably could have gotten a shade darker, but I was a little hesitant because usually when there's only a few shades, like say like 4 or 5, I will fall to not the lightest, but normally one up from that. Well, they had just added a very dark and a very light. So I ended up getting pale ivory. It does end up setting so that it's not super light. It has a pump. Now, her claims, I think on the website or in her Instagram or something, is that it's like using Facetune. Let me tell you, maybe for those of you who don't have that many issues, this will be like using Facetune, but this is not like using Facetune. I have done Facetune on myself before, just if something was really wacky or just, you know, I think we've all done it just so what we look like. I don't make a habit of doing Facetune on Instagram. I usually just change the lighting, you know, to brighten a picture. But Facetune is some serious claims. I mean, it will wipe out everything. You know, all those Instagram pictures that look like you don't even have any pores, that's Facetune. This doesn't really do that, but it is nice. However, I do not get a lot of longevity out of this. For about 3 or 4 hours, it looks great. Then it starts, you know, breaking down a little. Nothing terrible, but this for me would not be an 8-hour foundation. However, it is nice and it did not accentuate anything on my chin as far as like fine lines, acne scars, all that. So it is nice. It's a little pricey, $45 to not know your shade, but again, they say they will color match you if you send in a picture. Now we're down to my 2 favorite, and they're both expensive. One of them I have on today, but I'm telling you, not only do they last a long time, but they look really nice on the skin, at least for me. What I'm wearing today is the Shiseido. This is the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Oil-Free Foundation. It's broad spectrum SPF 30. I have it in the color Shell, 160 Shell. I went by the color match of this, the Estee Lauder. So I try to use the Sephora color match. This is definitely too light for me. You can see with self-tanning it's too light. When I'm not self-tanning, it's not bad. It does dry down a little and becomes a little darker, which is great, but I think I need to shade up. It has like a twist, and this is some serious full coverage. This is probably one of the most full coverage foundations I have ever tried. It is serious full coverage, but I mean, I barely have to use any concealer. This is great. I love it. It lasts like all day, which is odd for a long-lasting foundation, but yet does not accentuate all the fine lines. Because most of the time, see, that's what I love about the YSL, the All Hours. It's long-lasting, but I feel like with continued use of wear, and who knows, that may happen with this. I've not worn it months and months and months on end. But I quit wearing the YSL because when I start wearing it so long, I can tell it just adds to the dehydration factor, the dryness on my chin. So this is great though. It may be one of those just when I need some full coverage and all day, that's when I'll use this. Now I know some of you, and I've heard this from several people that this turned your face into an oil slick by the end of the day and it just like slid right off, which I find odd considering it's oil free, and just the type of foundation. Like it does not feel dewy or anything even going on to begin with. So how it turns into that, I'm guessing if you are oily skin or combination skin, like combination on the, you know, you've really got a powder and you turn shiny with a lot of foundations in the T-zone, this probably isn't gonna work for you. I'm combination, but definitely combination to dry. I'm, you know, probably, you know, just dry on the outside. I get oily in the T-zone, but it's not like terrible. I don't totally turn into an oil slick anymore. I love this. The other one, and this is expensive, but I was so impressed when I put this on. This is the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. And it's expensive, and I'm in the color 4.5 Ivory, but like I said, if something works, it works. And what I did was just basically take a flat top brush on this and then dab it on. This looked great. I wore this, I took some notes here. I did no primer with this. That's the thing too. Maybe skip the primer with this if you get oily. I didn't do any primer with this. The first few days I wore it, I did try out that Farsali today. And I used the Hourglass setting powder with it. I don't want something like the Laura Mercier or anything that's like gonna be too drying on my skin. So I think that's what helps as well. The Tom Ford, I didn't do a primer one day, but then I did do the Clarins Beauty Flash Balm. Both of them looked great. And I used the Chanel loose powder with this and it looked great. So I still need to try some different powders with this. But guys, so far, this is one of my favorites. I mean, it looked good. It looked like skin. It didn't bring attention to anything. I don't know. It was just so nice. I mean, sorry, I got cut off. I had to change the battery. So what I was saying is just, if you've ever seen my skin in person, like I definitely have texture issues, like all through here. I mean, it's definitely something you notice. So if I can find a foundation that doesn't draw as much attention to that, then I'm, you know, it's like a miracle for me because every foundation does. But I need foundation because I have so much redness and uneven skin tone. It's not like I can just throw on a little bit concealer or tone and moisturizer. That's not enough coverage for me. So it's a really hard balancing act. And again, if I can find things that don't bring as much attention, it's not like they're gonna make it disappear because obviously a texture issue is just there. You're going to see it. However, these I absolutely love. Again, they're expensive. You know, I like this one too, and I like this one. I would say these are my top 4 maybe if I had to say that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Again, these lights always help diffuse things. They are our best friend when we're filming, that's for sure. So anyway, that was the foundation update. If you guys have any questions about a specific one, definitely leave me a comment below. I tried to go over them quickly, but I hope I at least answered some of your questions about them. Now, let's talk about this lip combo that I have on. I have been wearing this a ton and I really like it. I think I'd put this in the Like to Know It app because sometimes I put content there that you won't see anywhere else. You know, I just snap a picture of stuff like, oh, this is what I'm loving or whatever. So the Laura Mercier liner in Plumberry, I have that on and I have my lips just filled in with it. But then I have this over top of it. This is from Maybelline and this is one of their Shine lipsticks. It's in Baddest Beige. Well, this color I've looked at for a while. It is definitely more beige pink than what looks good on me, but I can wear it over a darker color and it looks good. So I will swatch it, although, see, it looks really pink there, but it definitely is beige, like I would say beige pink. But it's one of those, if I don't already have my lips filled in, it will be too, I don't know, it reminds me kind of almost like of MAC Cream Cup, but yet in a better formula. With the Shine formula, it definitely glides on and looks a little nicer. And I've had this on for several hours, so it's not as shiny, but it definitely feels very nice. I'd probably look at some other colors. What I've been loving too, and I definitely want to get more colors, is the new Revlon Shines. This is, let's see, Glossed Up Rose. And this, I feel like I had this on in a video or Instagram. But again, I can wear different liners with this, but I've been really loving that Laura Mercier with this too. It's a really pretty rose color. Oh, I did an Insta story on this saying, here you go. It is so pretty. And it has way more color than I was anticipating. So again, that's what it looks like. Because you know how sometimes Shine, it's like they kind of have color. No, this one has a lot of color. So I would like to try other ones. What I said it reminded me of was that YSL, what were they called? I don't have them anymore. It's the one in the silver tube. It looks like this, but it's silver. This is the lipstick. They had that real slick feeling when you put them on, but yet they had a hint of color. Mine was old, so I threw it out. That's what these remind me of. So if you liked those, you'll like this. Or maybe you thought those were too slick. This is probably a little more balm feeling, just very nice shine though. I mean, these are very, very nice. So anyway, been loving that. Two other things from the drugstore that I've been liking. I showed this, I think, in a grocery haul where I picked up some random beauty items. I don't know what, I just in that mood like, oh, I want to try a new blush. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me blush, and this is in the color Peach. And it's so pretty. I always wanted something like this. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of some higher end ones, but it's like a warm toned, like pink peach color. It's just very pretty. I'm not wearing it today, so I don't know why I'm holding it up to my cheek, but sometimes when I hold it back this far, it's like more true color. I'm wearing my normal Milani Romantic Rose today, but this is very, very pretty, and I really like it. I think a lot of you would love that color. And then I just wanted to try a new one. I think I was running out. I had went back, I'd used the IT Cosmetics for a long time, but I went back to the Makeup Forever black liner for my waterline, and I was needing a new one, so I thought, let me just try this out. This is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Gel Pencil Liner. They have a whole bunch, so this one is the specific one I wanted. This is really nice. I use this on my top waterline, or kind of lash line really, and it's very nice. It doesn't transfer or anything like that, and it's not been irritating my eyes. I think so. Last few things, let's talk about books and TV. Books, I finished The Silent Patient, which was really good. And I think I heard, maybe one of you told me they were making a movie out of that. I'm not sure. But that was good. I liked it. Because I think I had started talking about it in last month's favorites, maybe, that I just started it or something. But it was good, and I liked it. And then I also finished An Anonymous Girl. It was funny because I had read The Wife Between Us. I'm pretty sure that's the same authors. And it was okay. I liked it, but it had just like, it just seemed like it just ended. And I felt like this book kind of did that too. But I liked An Anonymous Girl better than The Wife Between Us. I forget, what am I reading now? Oh, it's Always the Husband, I think. I just started that. And then for TV, I had mentioned on Instagram stories a while ago that we started watching The Stranger. And it's really good. We're probably like 6 or 7 episodes in. I think there's only 1 season so far. And how we found out about that, you know, when you first click on Netflix, it will have like things recommended at the top or already start playing, you know, like little preview. That's how I saw it. And I know a lot of people I think are watching that as well too. It's really good. It reminds me a lot of Safe. Remember like a year or so ago, I talked about that. It kind of just has that same vibe, and it's funny, even the intro music reminds me of that. Like, it just seemed so familiar when I first started watching. It's like, why do I feel like we've watched something like this before? So it kind of is like that. A lot's going on. Like, every episode, new people show up, and this is happening, this happening. I mean, there's like a lot going on. It's one of those, they'll probably all intersect and come together at some point. So anyway, watching that, and it's really good. If you guys have any Netflix recommendations, definitely let me know. This is that time of year where we kind of save it when there's not something else we're watching. Like, we might watch 1 episode a night, or like, you know, on Wednesday, I think we watch The Masked Singer. If something's on, and like we record NCIS and NCIS New Orleans, and we'll watch that on like a different night or something. So anyway, if you guys have good recommendations, you watch like what I watch. I usually talk about what I'm watching, or like I'll show you a little clip on Instagram stories, so if you want to follow me there. So I hope you guys found this helpful or at least entertaining. If you're not yet subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you back. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.